Okay, continuing on, this is part 2 to this segment on painting this floral, the rose. I have pretty much defined the bush, the shrub as it is, by going around the outer edge, as I first explained, and creating some leaves that define the edge of the shrub. All that quick underpainting underneath is no longer a factor. It's pretty much in the background. It's visual texture. And having done that much, I have blocked off what's going to be necessary or significant foliage within the shrub with white. And now I'm blocking off with white again the general shapes for my roses, the actual flowers of color. I am using the same size brush that I used to create the skeletonized stems and the frame of the shrub, and same brush for the foliage of the leaves. I am working very, like I said, intuitively, and I'm looking at the general shape of those roses, and I'm finding that just simply almost the same technique I use for creating the leaves, if I just kind of now tweak what I'm doing there and make a circular pattern with that same brush, I'm able to get the shape that's going to form the foundation of my roses. And now I'm going into red on top of that white. And in this instance here, the white is not completely dried before I go into it with with the red. And so therefore I am getting a pinkish tint to the red that I'm going in there with. I'm not mixing red with anything prior to applying it to the canvas here. This is just pure red. And I am applying this to the white foundation that makes up the shape of the rose. So the trick here is to be very natural in the placement of the roses, the flowers. And you don't want it to look overthought. So I'm picking maybe 10, I believe, flowers I'm going to put on this shrub. Are there actually 10 roses or flowers on the actual shrub? Potentially. I do know that we're in the part of the season where we do have some full blooms and some new buds that are just coming up. So I'm trying to make sure I account for that type of variety. And I have very quickly just used white to put down as a base over top of all the dark areas. And as that white is drying, I began to put in the red and with simple strokes. And if I'm able to zoom in here, I'll do so, so you can see what those strokes look like with that single same size brush that I use for the foliage. So with the roses now placed, I'm now going in and applying yellow to the white base that I've laid down for some of those more petals. I'm going in with yellow because I want that to represent the leaves that are being highlighted by the sun. And I'm finishing up the majority of the detail elements for this painting. Again, this is being done as more of an impressionist work of an actual shrub. And in so doing in this manner, you begin to trust your thinking, your memory a little bit. And in so doing, you're not limiting yourself to the pressure of exactness. You're freeing yourself up, and in so doing, your thinking is not constrained by the pressures of like, hey, I'm doing that wrong. There is no right or wrong per se. You do want to understand the general shape of things, how to take simple shapes and make shapes serve as the foundation for your overall form. Understand what anything looks like. Understand what a rose flower looks like. The leaf of a rose bush. Understand what the shape is. The brain will automatically always put two and two together and calculate that, and in your mind it will correct any types of problems in discernment. It is when you just go off of pure imagination without any type of reference that you run into the mistake that we all succumb to at times, where you just kind of are drawing and painting, and you try to depict something that is realistic, and you make the mistake of just kind of not having a reference for realism's sake. So if it looks real because you have the general understanding and shape of it and certain specific details, then you're able to capture that in your drawings or illustrations, paintings. That will serve you better than just going off of pure imagination. So you want to blend these two things together to create paintings that have a distinct personality and voice that represents you. And that is the essence of impressionist painting. So, again, I've limited my palette overall, as I've expressed before. I'm using just nothing more than these same colors to go ahead and finalize this overall piece. And what doesn't look natural might be the blue and the way that yellow is surrounding that this shrub here. And that is something that in the end you can kind of go in and correct once you've gotten the initial elements of everything you want in here down. And you're not going to overdo it, but this is the color palette for this particular piece. And what we're after is a feeling of spontaneity. I'm going in with a little bit darker blue mixed with black to really further make a separation of the of elements to create depth. So within the shrub, I'm actually painting black or dark blue with black to separate the interior from the exterior, and give your eye some range of depth to really explore this painting and look this painting over. So you want to be mindful of these things. This adds a layer of interest that brings this whole thing together. And the edges of the painting being rather loose and somewhat blurred in with the background holds this whole thing together. I'm going in with reds in the dark shadow areas, and that red will help tie the entire piece together. So you don't ever just want to have like black areas of shadow with no color in it. There's always going to be color in every shadow, no matter what. You got reflective lights hitting, and you want to always repeat colored areas. And in my opinion, I think you want to do representations of 3. So if you got a color somewhere, you want to have that color pick up in 3 different other parts or areas of the canvas, and that kind of helps to pull everything and hold everything together. So I'm adding more red to the stem work there, and I'm about to wrap up this portion and of instruction on here, and I'll do a zoom in and provide some zoom ins after this.